period. And we zoom in right back to the scene of the action where the Big J, the living icon of Philippine basketball, has just gotten himself into harness. They were ahead by 2, 27-25. We're 5 seconds into the second period. There were other fresh legs on the floor there for Anejo as Chito Loizaga sinks it.
Well, one of them is Peter Aguilar. Larry Villanil actually checked in sometime late in the first period. Well, for San Miguel Beer, we have Ato Agustin now in the ball game.
Peter Aguilar is on Bobby Jose. Larry Villanil picking up Postanis. And here's Bobby going to France. Pumaren. Hey, that was a daredevil drive. The ball kept alive by Franz himself. Samboy Stern now against Jaworski. No, Agustin, I'm sorry. He's a dead ringer, really, for Samboy, isn't he?
Yes, the way he moves. This is where San Miguel Beer must try to keep in step with Anejo, because now the bench is coming in and the first stringers are starting to move out.
Forcible entry by Rudy Distrito, a failure. It's 29-25, 4-point lead for Anejo.
Well, Dignadice must conserve himself and not busy himself with tasks of trying to move the ball down court, because that should be the chore of the guards.
That's not his job, clearly.
Especially now that he's the only center left in this team.
Loizaga plucking the ball from the air. Sonny Jaworski bring it down. And this is vintage Jaworski in full display. $31-25.
Well, we can read some of the signs being hoisted here. Jaworski, our hero, and Anejo Rum 65, we're proud of you.
While the Anejo fans proclaiming their undying loyalty to Jaworski and the team. Another fast break being engineered by Rudy Distrito. Larry Villanil found himself in too deep. And in this connection, I'd like to thank Congresswoman Nikki Cositeng, who was your special guest of honor, for having sent me a very nice photograph.
Of that night?
Yes. Okay. 31-25. Larry Villanil consummates. Ivestic Natisia seems to have been stunned by that knockdown. Bobby Jose against Peter Aguilar. Here's Bobby. Door shot to his face, but a foul given up by Peter.
San Miguel Beer able to nurse their fouls, but they're not really playing the type defense they're noted for.
Nope. Incidentally, pardon us for the oversight. We failed to mention the names of the three gentlemen equipped with the whistles tonight. They are Messrs. Ledesma, Rivera, and Chua. While the counterpart of Jun Gregorio for Anejo Rum is Mr. Per Navarro.
Everybody will get a chance to play tonight for San Miguel.
Except Norman Black.
I know, and I know he wants to play.
Oh, boy. 33-27. Villanil hits Loizaga hard, but Loizaga fails. The follow-up likewise a failure. Agustin lost his bearings there. Loose ball picked up by the destroyer. In hot pursuit is Franz Pumaren, who simply allowed prudence to be the better part of valor.
And Distrito said, I better not let him catch me again. 9 minutes remaining here in the second period. 8-point lead for Anejo. Well, Anejo starting to learn the value of having a big shot blocker down the middle. They're trying to learn now how to funnel the ball inside to the human eraser, whoever he is.
Well, somebody erased Ivestic Natisia from the scene. Look at this again. It was Chito Loizaga in conspiracy with Larry Villanil and Peter Aguilar. Peter Aguilar on the offensive side of the court for Anejo. Rudy Distrito lobs it to low post. Foul. Needless to say, subsequent violations will result in technicals.
Air ball by Peter Aguilar. A quick look at the San Miguel Beer lineup inside. Right now we have Dignadice, Pumaren, Agustin Angeles, and Almario. This is just a shell of what kind of team San Miguel Beer was fielding last year when they won the Grand Slam.
Don't count them out. Pumaren. 35-27, 8-point lead for Anejo. Loose ball battled for Franz Pumaren. He hits the deck after getting banged up.
By Rudy Distrito.
Who else? 3-point bomb. Explodes again for Chito Loizaga. His second triple B connection tonight.
11-point lead now for Anejo. They're in the double-digit zone with 7 minutes and 43 seconds remaining in the second quarter.
Team foul picture shows them with 4 against 2 for San Miguel Beer. 7 minutes and 38 left in the first semester of the maiden appearance of the two sister teams in the league, Anejo Rum and San Miguel Beer. The Beermen are the defending champions in this conference. One of two remaining thrones that they will be defending this year.
Samboy Lim, Hector Calma back on the floor for San Miguel.
Samboy certainly wasted no time getting back to work. 38-29.
It's only the second basket for San Miguel here in this second quarter.
No explosion that time from Chito Lizagas. Hector Calma brings it downtown for San Miguel. BDB4 wishes to express his regrets over the cancellation of the Banik concert. And I know you will understand this because of the inclement weather. And what did we catch there, Mr. Maniego?
Well, that's perfectly normal behavior during inclement weather.
Oh, I'd love to do that with our producer, Miss Pilar Bustamante, except that she's about a mile away right now.
Isn't there any rule about propositioning on the air?
That's the only way I can do it, because in private she's already spoken for.
Oh, you just drove away everybody from Pilar.
Aguilar misses on the follow-up.
When you mentioned elbow, Aguilar instantly came to mind.
38-31. We're approaching the halfway point of the second period. All right, Anejo is already in penalty, while San Miguel has kept its team fouls down to just 2. Going to be a turnover for the red shirts of Anejo. Norman Black seems to be very worried at this point.
Well, he has reason to be. They're doing everything they can. They're still down by 7. Perfect smothering defense put up by Ives Dignadice against his former NCC buddy.
Philip Cesar, Mike Advani, Romulo Mamaril, Jaworski himself, and Dante Gonzalgo. Here's the Big J against Samboy. Calma picking up Dante.
Actually, that was Agustin.
Oh, it was Agustin who picked up Dante Gonzalgo's miss. 38-31, still a 7-point lead going for Anejo with 6:13 in the balance for the second period. Lim against Jaworski.
Offensive foul on Samboy Lim, forcing the matter against Sonny Jaworski.
Lim.
Jaworski probably telling him that's no way to treat your coach in the national team. Well,
if you will wind up in the national team after that.
Well, I'm sure Samboy is already practically a shoe-in for that national team.
Oh, no question about that.
For the national team?
Why not?
In what?
Why not? He scored 37 points in Vintage's conquest over Duan Radio only last Saturday. Here's a fast break and it works for San Miguel.
That was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago, okay. Are you telling me then that they won't be able to do the same thing if they meet again?
Yes, I believe so, although probably get the senior team of our company to play against them. Of course, our senior team boasts of some ex-pros like Joe Bonal and Tata Merced.
That's no fair.
And I think we're playing the Nike Primo tournament, which is a tournament for print media organizations. So if there's a basketball tournament for broadcasters, there's also one for print.
Well, basketball indeed is the best and most popular pastime in this country as we find a fierce battle for the rebound, and the ball will stay with Anejo.
Well, hopefully also there will be another league involving media men that will be sponsored by the National Press Club pretty soon.
So we're going to have at least 10 leagues going on at the same time.
That's correct. It really is basketball country, Joe. 7-point lead for Anejo with 5 minutes and 23 seconds remaining here in the second period.
Exact tally is 40-33. Agustin gets a nice bone-crunching pick there from Samboy Lim.
That's a foul. We have 3 former Crispa players on the hardcourt for Anejo. Philip Cesar, Freddy Hubalde, and Romulo Mamaril.
And this really reminds you of that fabled Crispa-Toyota rivalry of old, except that they are now all playing in the same team, aside Jaworski representing Toyota there, right? Dante Gonzalgo, the only one who wasn't a former Toyotan or Crispan. Here's Dante. Hold it.
Traveling.
He wanted to make sure he was in three-point country. In the process, he lifted his pivot foot.
Probably did the Texas two-step there.
Yes.
Well, not many people remember that Dante Gonzalgo actually began his pro career in the San Miguel uniform of Magnolia about 5 or 6 years ago, Gold Eagle or something like that.
Well, he did start out with the San Miguel franchise.
That's correct. Ages ago.
42-37.
Well, San Miguel Beer able to stick around, and maybe that's all they need here in this ballgame. Just hang around, Anejo.
And for question number 2 in Sarzi's Angat sa Iba basket trivia, who is the old Black Magic's director? How about that? Who is the old Black Magic's director?
Jaworski, 3 points.
An ICBM exploded by Sonny Jaworski, while I'm still trying to figure out the real question here. Is it who is the old Black Magic or who is the director? Or who is the old Black Magic's director?
Yes.
Ayun. In short, who is Norman Black's director?
Yes.
In other words, who is Norman Black's Hector Calma?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Write your name, address, signature, and telephone number in your entries together with 3 Sarzi crowns and drop them at Ultra Drop boxes. And I'm in a very charitable mood tonight. Maybe I'll give him the answers to all the future questions, too. 45-39 is the count. 6-point lead for Anejo. 3:38 left in the first half. Calma against Freddy. Ostanes against Jaworski. They've cleared the right side of the court for him. The isolation play blew up right in their faces. Fast break again being engineered by the red shirts. Here's Jaworski. Gets it right back to Hubalde. Hubalde had a very clear path inside.
That was because somebody moved earth.
Offensive foul, Loizaga.
The heroic of Hubalde was nullified by the offensive foul of Loizaga. We've been talking about Bill Velasco earlier. Well, Bill Velasco will be continuing his series on the PBA team's preparations for this All-Filipino conference on KP at the half. Coming your way, where else? At halftime. 45-39, 6-point advantage for Anejo. Ignatice with a pump fake, runs into a gauntlet of defenders. He flubbed it. Gonzalgo right down the middle.
Traveling violation, Dante Gonzalgo.
Action continues with San Miguel inbounding. Hector Kamala bringing it downtown. Finally got it safely to the front court for San Miguel Beer with 2 minutes and 47 left in the first half. Bobby Jose in 3-point country. Samboy Lim will challenge Dante Gonzalgo anew. Here he comes. Yes. Samboy has already belched fire to the tune of 8 points.
But they still need a lot more from him to challenge Anejo Rum 65, especially in the second half.
Well, Anejo Rum is still up by 4, 45-41. Here is Philip Cesar. Frontal assault to the basket against Samboy Lim himself. Back to a 6-point lead for Anejo. You know, the rejuvenation of Philip Cesar, not only in the All-Filipino, but also in the All-Star game, has been nothing short of amazing. Bobby Jose's drive is a failure. Ostanes travels.
With under 2 minutes to play here in the second quarter, Anejo protecting a 6-point lead.
Freddy Ubalde keeps it alive for Anejo. Look at that.
Well, we have 2 guys on the floor for Anejo, Cesar and Jaworski, both members of that club, along with Atoy Comon, Fernandez.
Foul, Calma.
It's also, Freddy Ubalde, some more notes on him. He's also closing in on 2,000 assists. He needs just 27 more.
So, Freddy Ubalde is gunning for history in the next few ball games of Anejo as Dante Gonzalgo comes out of nowhere to save the situation for the 65ers. They're up by 8 now, 49-41. Here's Hector Calma picking up speed against Freddy Ubalde and a whole phalanx of defenders. The defense worked. Sonny Jaworski brings it to the other end of the floor. Rejected 2. 49-41, 8-point lead for Anejo. Team foul picture, Anejo already in penalty as far back as 2 minutes ago, while San Miguel is on the verge of it with 6. Jose got a nice assist there from the Dragon.
Ball knocked away by Freddy Ubalde.
Hector gets into position for the air ball. No saving grace there from Angeles, neither from Bobby Jose. Here's the Big J, Chito Loizaga. The express train got to the destination again.
So, 4 straight points by Anejo gives them a 10-point lead once again, 51-41.
This is their second double-digit spread, eh?
Yes.
Only 30 seconds before both clubs repair to the locker room for the halftime break. Postanis,
Not his shot.
not his night. Ooh, look at that.
No foul.
Angeles. Hook Phillips' hands are in the air with him. Here's Philip. I think he's sore. Loizaga from the corner. Two red shirts disputing the offensive rebound, but too late for anything else. That should do it for the first half. 51-43 is the count. Hector Calma at point. Ives Dignatice playing the center. Bobby Jose along with Samboy Lim, and the fifth guy is Angeles. There's a steal by the Dragon, and Angeles is going for a stroll in the park.
It's important for San Miguel Beer to be able to stay close to Anejo Rum 65 for most of this third quarter, because at least in the fourth, if they have a chance in the fourth quarter, then they might be able to pull off an upset.
An upset of colossal proportions at that.
That's correct. Playing without Mon Fernandez and Alvin Teng. No joke for San Miguel.
Nope. Of course, Ricardo Brown. Any word about Ricardo from your end, Mr. Maniego?
Well, I just read in the column of Quinito Henson in the Philippine Star that Ricardo Brown has just enrolled at Pepperdine University to complete his study, so I don't think he's coming back pretty soon.
Well, if he has just enrolled, then that might exclude him from further activity, at least in this year's wars. 51-47, 4-point lead for Anejo. Bobby Jose going up. Yes, sir. Again.
Anejo's defense has been very lax here in the opening period. They've allowed San Miguel Beer to score unmolested on their last three shots, and the Beermen are now breathing down the necks of the 65ers again.
And they better believe it. That's just a 2-point lead they're protecting right now. Freddy Ubaldi in three-point country. Chito Loizaga against Bobby Jose. Uncorks from there.
Chito Loizaga, high point man for Anejo in the first half. He now has a total of 16.
And a 4-point lead for the 65ers. Certainly a lot more comfortable than a solo basket. Dignatice's lateral assault to the basket didn't pay off, with Chito Loizaga blocking it off the air for Anejo. Here's the destroyer. Almost stripped away by Hector Calma.